here.
Another impactful,
Powerful.
reachable,
Teachable. How many English guys? As you see, we're here again.
episodes of So We Are Here.
So
Swah
we are
Nation,
here.
welcome Swah Nation. To those who are new to the channel, welcome to those who are the furniture. As this furniture is.
Those who don't have price tags.
Yes. Always
Being in the
yes.
seasons with us.
You know,
Watching.
from the
Love you.
start.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Swah. And if you didn't listen to the other episodes, the first part of forgiveness versus unforgiveness, make sure that you go and you check it out so that you can get context of what we're going to be speaking about today, which is forgiveness versus unforgiveness. I go by the name of Palesa Kena. Wow, what an intro. Kena.
It's your boy Sinikiwe.
Yes.
It's your boy, this side, your president, Musa. VP.
President.
So yeah, forgiveness versus unforgiveness. Just practical steps on how you dealt with it, how you received it, how you were forgiven, because that's another topic.
Whoa, actually.
Hey.
How were you forgiven?
How
What
were
lessons
you
did you learn when
Yo.
you messed up?
I actually have something.
That you were forgiven? So I think let's dive into that, man. That's a topic in our hearts, really forgiveness. And I really think once the nation learns how to forgive and heal, that's when really the leaders will come out of us and the world changes will come out of us. But if we're stagnant in our self-preservation, then
Stagnant in self-preservation.
they will not grow the next generation if we're stuck in self-preservation.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
yeah, guys, what is the scenario?
What
You don't
worked
have to
for
tell a
us?
story, but
What worked?
what worked for you and what did you have to do to also be forgiven?
Well, I think for me personally, I was talking about one thing about me. Out of the abundance of my heart, my mouth will speak.
Yeah.
So I spoke to my friends. I spoke to people I know would feel sorry for me, and which is never the solution, really. Or that time I understood it was not the solution, or in hindsight it was not. But I would speak and vent, man, and be like, yeah, this person did this to me. Who does he or she think she is? Da, 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 da. Whatnot, so I would speak and vent about it, but not from a place of I wanted to be free and I wanted to heal. I wanted a pity party. I wanted someone to go into Mgodini, my hole with me, and dig it with me as deep as it could be, and then sis balele and just sit in the hurt, and just have a dialogue, a back and forth, and like I hear you and I get you. I wanted someone who to get to get me. You know what I mean? To get me. But until I decided that I was going to speak to someone, I need to excuse me. I am blessed.
Highly favored.
Anyway, so until I decided, no man, I need to speak to someone who I know will. I will get this message out. Until I spoke to someone who I knew would give me the real reality of my choices and me choosing to dwell in it and not to see it the way that God wanted to for me to see it and teach me. So I spoke to my leader, I spoke to my pastor about it, and she said, yo man, just get to the Lord and lay it to God and speak to him about where you're at, and then leave it there. And then leave it there as in like leave it for him to deal with it, and then continue to do what you know to do, which is to love his people. And I was like, yo, that's difficult. So every morning I would do that, but I would pick it back up again.
Yeah.
And I would make it a part of myself until I realized, Guti, I don't want this to be my point of departure. The decisions that I make, even for the person that will marry me one day, I don't want them to, to receive my past hurts. So I don't want it to affect my legacy, my future marriage, the girls that I get to disciple. So I had to make a decision. Do I want it to be a wound that is open?
That stays open.
And they're infected. And then, when a wound is infected or you have an infection, it can affect your entire anatomy. And so then I had to unreal and say, Lord, I will give you this wound, but I need for you to help me through it because I can't. I would cry out to the Lord. I would cry Shem. I think Musa also spoke about crying. I was real. It was real. I would cry, but I had to get to a place where I'm just like, am I going to continue crying like this for myself? Or am I going to let this be my story so that I cry for someone who is struggling in the same thing? And so I spoke to someone, and then I think for a person that had to forgive me, I wrote a letter.
Wow. God, love later.
I wrote a letter. So, because I've struggled with amagama, and I talk a lot, like I really actually talk a lot. But at that point, I knew I was not just going to come and speak from my heart or my mind. I had to write down the things that I did to the person and acknowledging. I will be honest. I wrote what I did to them, but I said, but you also did.
Yeah, because it's human nature. It's human nature. It's human nature. And I was gonna piggyback of that because we before we actually get help, we still try to fix it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't go to the leader first. We did our own thing and tried to figure it out. And not that it's wrong. We're saying we don't want you guys to figure life out, but we're saying spiritual guidance is key. Because you like we said, you get to a point where you lick your wound for so long, you dig your hole for so long that you even forget. What happened?
And now you as a victim.
And the person
Just-
you're either not forgiving or waiting for your forgiveness, either they have forgotten that you've had them, now you're stuck with this wound because now it gets deep. So when you see the symptoms, treat the symptoms before it becomes something worse.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you need to see you in ICU with drips. Before you're like, Conte, you know? When you say you take that med lemon, you know, before it becomes a thing where now you are with drips.
Yeah, the victim
because
instead of the
think,
victor.
Yeah, now you are a victim story. No, you don't want that for you.
But like, how did you deal with someone, you forgiving someone and someone having to forgive you?
So let me start with the person forgiving me. It takes you, it takes you aback. Yeah. Because one, like I said, you think you are the only one who deserves forgiveness.
To receive it.
To get it. Because you think, the world, how can they hate me? I've given you everything, da 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 da. Then you forget, hey, I actually had a few people in life. Friends, whether I said something or did something unintentionally, intentionally, but a close friend of mine as well, I was in the wrong. And it took maturity from his level for him to forgive in that manner. And for me, it took me aback because, like I said, it's not normal to receive forgiveness. I don't know if you get me. You're always waiting.
You're always in the end of giving it.
Yeah, you're always in the end of giving. But when you have that mentality that it is what it is. Like I've heard him, I try to, say sorry, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I suck again.
I'm shutting my ear.
And then they shock you. Hey, Chief, I know you did A, B, and C, God to God. It's okay now, we cool. You're forgiven. He's like, okay. What be this, Lord? What are you bringing to me?
Which one is this one?
So it takes me aback, but I also learned that I too needed to, because you can be forgiven and not accepted and still want to dwell in that hole because it feels comfortable. It feels like you deserve to stay in that hole because in brother, whatever. But it takes you aback. And then in terms of forgiving, guys, I think one, like I said, you need to acknowledge that you've been hurt. So you can't fake being hurt. Allow yourself, like Musa said, to like you said, to cry it out. Don't be those brows who cry, or as the cheetahs say, we cry in bulk. You're not even crying for the problem anymore. You're crying for every other problem, and no, address that one day. And then, like I said, address the symptoms. If you are seeing how you are hurt, and you're seeing in the signs of how you treat people around you, you are lashing. because you feel like people don't get me, so what's the point? Or your mood changes. 1 minute you are happy, next minute you are not. 1 minute you are playing
Up and
worship
down.
music, next minute you are playing trap all of a sudden,
Like
and
the
then
South
the
African
world
weather.
hates you. Yeah.
You
Or
know,
like
hot, you're cold,
yeah.
windy.
Yeah, now
Spring.
we need an umbrella around you, or now we need shields around you. We need sunscreen because cabanga ukuthi,
Yeah.
So in short, mood swings. But there are signs that are there. Treat the symptom. Get the help early.
But how did you
I got the
confront
help.
it?
I got the help early.
But did you have a person that you had to forgive and like?
Yeah, so I got the help early, meaning I went to that person because
So
sometimes so I physically went to that person. Like I said, I believe you need to, and it's not easy. I'm not a person who's confrontational.
I'm opposite, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not confrontational. I'd rather it simmer.
Yeah.
I don't care. Let it do what it needs to do. Let it land how it needs to land, and we move. But I learned that there's no growth in that for you and for the person, because it says something about your character if you do that. But when you step out, whether you're right or wrong, whether you step out and you say, no, I forgive you. I've highlighted these things, but I'm choosing to forgive you, not because I think I'm better than you in any way or because you deserve the forgiveness, but I'm choosing it because I understand that releasing you from this, your life can move on, my life can move on, and the blessing of God can be upon you because I wish you nothing but the best. And life can move easily like that. But like I said, if you keep on licking the wounds and it becomes a problem, you won't grow from that. Okay. So I had to learn confrontation now. And not confrontation with siyalwa, phuma silwe. Confrontation is we addressing the matter, man to man, woman to man to woman, and we are coming to a conclusion to say you were the problem, but the scenario is created a problem between us, and let's address this problem the best way by speaking in an intellectual level where we know we are not addressing each other as the weak vessels of that thing, but we are trying to find a common solution where we can move forward. And then forgiveness takes place, and then we can move forward in life, having the burden, as Musa says, lifted up of you. But that takes a lot of selflessness in order for you to reach that point where you understand that the goal of forgiveness is not so you can feel better about yourself. I know, look, God, I'm great. I forgive people. But the goal of forgiveness is so that you guys can both grow from that. Because I think I said in the last episode is, your choices, you never know if through your choices and decisions, if that person will receive God's love in that decision. And the biggest heart of God's love is forgiveness.
Sure, yeah.
It's a big thing.
It's who he is.
It's who he is.
His nature.
It's and we have his nature.
We do.
It's just we forget it sometimes because we feel like we've been done a disjustice.
You've been wronged more
than enough.
Yeah. Or not even, but you've been wronged more than you from God.
Yeah. So why should I? And that's the wrong mentality to have. So that's how I dealt with it. I learned how to confront it early. If I'm feeling heavy, let's get it. And I haven't mastered it. Sometimes there's times where it chills because I don't, not because I want it to chill, but I just don't know how to address it effectively.
But yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes also if someone keeps doing the same thing over and over again, I will be honest, there are times I'm just like, you know what, God, this time, like, it's not that I'm not willing to forgive, but I'm just gonna let it simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer.
And eventually I know the Holy Spirit will be like, girl, you know better. You know better, yeah. But you, Musa, practical steps?
Practical steps. There's a brother of mine that I always call when I have issues. And I wish he was as nice as your pastors, but with me, he gives it to me whole. So I remember the time I told him, hey, Chief, I need to forgive. And you know how he speaks to these ideas because you were stupid. Yes, I told you not to do it, but you continue.
I told you.
Look now, we are crying now. No, stop crying. Stop crying. You done it to yourself. Come on, Baba, let's move on. Life doesn't wait for you. And it's always good to have friends who shop at you. I just think David the way he shoppers, yeah, but we must speak about that because
Maybe that's what
But that's what you need.
you need, yeah.
because sometimes I'm like, hey,
Hey,
my brother, please, hey, come on. And it's that thing of you, like you said, but you said that you always we want someone to
Feel sorry for you.
feel sorry for you. You want it your way. Like, come on, chief, you know,
I get you.
It's,
You were wrong.
Yeah, no, I get
How
you.
could they?
You know, he's
Yeah.
like, no, you're the one that's stupid. That's it. But I remember when I was told, Uti, I have to forgive you because Musa, you did A, B, and C. That was like one of the toughest days of my life. Mind you, a McDonald's sitting there.
I'm not loving it.
It was not nice.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That's it. That McFist was not going anywhere. McFist eating.
He was not feasting.
No, it was not.
And it's not just doesn't come cheap, eh? Down the drain.
McFist eating when I eat. Mara Chief, you are stupid. Yo. But I think that was one of the biggest eye openers to actually hear someone tell you that, okay, remember you did A, B, C, D, and this is how you made me feel. And hearing that, okay, this is how you made me feel, and understanding that you are actually done A, B, and C to this person. And for me, I was like, maybe some of it was intentional, some of it was not. To me, it really changed the way I see things. And I was like, okay, that moment, I took that moment as a Korean experience to say that, okay, now I need to go for this. All right, young fun. And you know the saddest thing about this story, and I was speaking to my friend about it, the same one who calls me stupid.
Okay, but doesn't call you stupid like Manje all the time.
No. It only
When you have done something stupid.
when I done something stupid,
Let's
then
get that right.
yeah. Then no. Let's say he's very raw with his words.
Yeah. Straightforward.
He's very straightforward. And looking at it now, and I was and I was speaking now the other day, and I was like, you know what? If I had not treated that person the way I did back then,
How far the relationship would have been?
where would I have been with that person today?
And that's crazy because as the person that needs to be forgiven, that's the result or the outcome of you've lost someone that you missed out on. It's your loss.
It's my loss.
Sure.
And now you sit and I'm not saying we shouldn't dwell on what ifs, but you should always just let it go. But it was a good question, and we spoke about it. Like if you did not do A, B, and C, maybe you would have been here in life. But because you chose to hurt someone else and chose your comfort and thought you were better and thought your words weighed heavier than the other person.
You have to have the last say.
Now look where you're at now.
Yeah.
So kalawiwa. So that happened, I think 4 years ago. But I can still say that today
Still reflects.
because that conversation with my friend and I was just a few weeks ago.
But are you saying that it still reflects from a place of like, what if it's should have, could have, would have? Like, have you forgiven yourself?
Still,
Yes, because it can be both or twofold. Where you can feel regret from a place of, okay, I should have, I could have, I would have, or you can say, okay, this was a lesson, I've grown from it. You know what I mean?
So for me, it's a lesson I've grown for it and how to better myself for going forward and how to treat people, because I think also we forget how we treat people, and sometimes we may come off, I don't know, we may come off however, and sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you need to understand how the other person feels, and I think the issue with us is we just have big heads sometimes. We think
Headmasters.
we think we know it all.
End of this.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
So having to come back to a point where you're just like,
Yeah, trust me, it hits different.
When you need to be
When you need to be forgiven and it happens.
Oh,
it is different, and that's also in hindsight how you should feel when you forgive. Is you are doing this person not a favor. That's a wrong word to use, but you are really releasing this person because that's how a back, as I said, they also feel when you say I forgive you. And that's why it's so important to forgive. Like I said, it's not for you. Sometimes you forgive someone and it still hurts. Um, but you know, because you trust the God who will heal you, you forgive knowing that you're already healed. You forgive know that you're already restored.
Restored, yeah.
You forgive
That,
know
yeah.
that whatever was lost will be replenished tenfold.
Exactly.
The 50-fold, the 100-fold, as the Bible says.
Yeah.
And you give from a place of victory, not defeat.
And that's how I think God wants us to forgive, is that if I bump into this person, yeah, there's no trick, nothing, I'm not triggered. There's no button that can be pressed. There's just not like there's no button that can be pressed. Like there's just a scar, like I always say, and I can, like, when I see that person, I can actually probably be the one to say hi first. Yeah. That's how I know that I'm not just forgiven. I haven't just forgiven this person, but I'm restored. I'm back. I'm whole. I'm back to who God wants me to be, which is
it's just the goal, guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah, that's basically, it's not necessarily basic steps. There's nothing basic about it.
Yeah.
It is practical steps. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That you could utilize or try in order for you to get to the
what has worked for us.
Yeah.
And it's not a
that's
one.
why we did it differently. Yeah.
It's not a one way fits all. What is it? One glove fits all.
One shoe fits all.
Yeah. It's not
English.
Blanket approach.
Yeah.
We are learned.
Educated.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys. With anything, if you were to take away, what's the one thing you want your viewers to take away from each of us before we close?
That there's just so much in store in life for you. That unforgiveness shouldn't be the reason that you don't get to experience that. There's such a bigger picture. There are so many people waiting to be impacted by you, and unforgiveness really, I wouldn't even say it stalls that process from taking place, but it definitely immobilizes you. You can think that you're forgiven that grade 1 teacher that says you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah,
but now you are like, now you've allowed that to taint who you are. You become a victim of that instead of being a victor. And that's the hard reality and the hard truth is that you can either be a victim of what has happened to you, or you can be a victor, which means that you've overcome and you've conquered and you live to tell the story. But it is possible, and I think Jesus was the greatest model for me to say that even in the midst of being hurt, he could forgive those who were hurting him. Even in the midst when those who hated him were throwing stones and crucifying him and killing him, he could say, forgive them for they not know what they're doing, because he understood the love of God. So that's my prayer always, is that you will know how much God loves you, because when you experience love, you're set free from being afraid to forgive or even to be confronted and be forgiven. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I would just say, listen, I'm speaking about you, the person that wronged the other person. Is being able to listen to the other person and taking whatever they say as not as a form as they are fighting me, or taking it as a form of, okay, I'm hearing, and this is maybe areas that I should actually work on myself. Because sometimes we hurt people thinking we know best, but it's just sometimes people trying to say that I just do not like what you're doing, and it hurts me when you do A, B, and C. And just being able to take that correction to say, okay, you know what, I've hurt you. And also, I think being honest with the person as well, when you forgive them, go to them and say, okay, I'm forgiving you, because you don't know what those words do to another person. Sometimes, you've been fighting with somebody and you're just going to say, okay, I'm sorry. Just can change that person's whole life.
Yeah.
Sometimes be the better person, basically. Be the bigger person, you know. Sometimes people are just waiting for you to say that you are sorry.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to say a bigger person with your name.
Wow.
That's new.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. One thing I want you to take away from this: act quickly. Act quickly. I think you have enough delayed in life that it hurts the nation. You have enough delayed in life that hurts families. You have enough delaying in life that hurts individuals. And to delay forgiveness, it's a level of disobedience. Ooh. It's an act of acting upon your flesh and acting upon your own nature, and you're allowing the enemy to use you to orchestrate hurt amongst 1,000, if not millions, of others, because your unforgiveness taints a generation. Not just your own, but the person you are not forgiving. So let's have a nature of trying to forgive as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Really, let's
connect.
adopt it, let's latch on to it, and I think our world will become a better place if we learn to forgive, to work together, to move forward. And that's my heart, God.
To work together, to move forward. Sounded like a elections campaign.
Wow. Vote forgiveness.
Vote for
Forgiveness, vote for change.
Together.
Together, better. Together, we
Speaking
move.
about together moving forward, yeah, this is the end of this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We move forward by moving this to sending it to someone.
Disney, just
Yeah,
send.
you know.
Usually, share WhatsApp so they can also share themselves by stealing from your status.
Yes,
to
maybe
share.
I know someone will definitely benefit from this episode. So we move forward, we move together. By the next episode, we'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, share, do the most. Swah Nation, we are out.
Yeah.
It's been good. Dango.
Dango.
Danke.